Hello everyone, this is TK Crossfix reading My Hero Podfic. Today I'm going to be reading the one-shot entitled The Wrong Doorstep, written by GhostWithABow on AO3, which was a request by @Little1. Sorry. A few disclaimers for this fic. There is the topic of domestic abuse. So that will be written in the description. I just needed to say that. So trigger warning. Let's get into the summary. Izuku gets hurt, attempts to seek his mentor out for help, and ends up at the wrong apartment. Shota's neighbors rarely bother him. Almost never, in fact. The last time someone knocked on his door was maybe a year and a half ago, and that was more Hisashi's fault than his. All of this, however, means he's awfully paranoid when someone knocks on his door at 1 a.m, right after his patrol. He throws his capture weapon back around his shoulder, clips the belt with a knife around his waist, and carefully looks out the peephole in his door. His breath catches in his throat. It is not a noisy neighbor at his door. It is not a mailman. It is not his landlord complaining about something or another. It is not a food delivery. It is not any of his friends popping by unannounced again. No. Standing in front of Shota's door is not anything he usually expects to see when looking out onto his doorstep. Izuku Midoriya, Shota's #1 problem student, stands in front of his door covered in bruises and dripping blood. He wastes no time in ripping the door open and nearly off the hinges to get a better look at his student. Midoriya has bruises littering his face and his arms, a few small cuts likely from glass on his arm, a crooked nose with dried blood underneath it, a split lip, and he's clearly favoring one leg over the other. The kid looks beat to hell and back, and Shota has a horrible feeling in his chest. See, Midoriya has always raised a lot of red flags. He flinches away from loud noises, throws himself into battle without a second thought, freezes when someone yells at him outside of battle, and deliberately avoids mentions of his past or home at school. Shota talked it up to anxiety or past incident, but clearly that was a severe mistake on his part. Midoriya? He manages to rasp out once the lock on his jaw loosens. The problem child in front of him squints his eyes and stares at Shota. Clearly, his vision is impaired enough that he's having trouble making shapes and such out. Mr. DADZAWA? Midoriya stammers. The kid squints down at his phone clutched in his hand, open to some sort of map if Shota isn't mistaken. He frowns. Sorry, this is... I meant to go to someone else's house. You're not who I meant to bother. Sorry. Shota bites his lip. Hey, no, it's okay, kid, he says softly as he can. Let's get you bandaged up inside, then we can talk about what happened. Midoriya flinches at that, mouth twisting into even more of a severe frown. That's all right, sir. I'll just go to my friend's house. My friend's house. They can they can help me over there, Midoriya says, voice just barely above a whisper. You're an injured child. I would be a pretty horrible hero and teacher to make you limp to a friend's house, he says firmly. Midoriya stares up at him, eyes still squinted for a few moments before slumping in defeat. Okay, problem child responds. Shota carefully herds Midoriya into the apartment, ignoring the bile threatening to come up. How could he miss this? Midoriya immediately wanted to go to a friend's house instead of his home or the hospital, which means that this was a domestic dispute. A domestic dispute that's likely been going on for years, and Shota missed it. He gets the kid settled on the couch, grabs the first aid kit, and starts to treat the wounds on the kid's arm. They're the worst ones. That'll be the most painless to treat for now. Fixing the crooked nose can come later. After he bandages the kid up, he'll have to take him to Recovery Girl. As soon as Shota he isn't a medical professional by any means. Oh, wait, what did I do? Sorry. As good as Shota is, he isn't a medical professional by any means. They pass a few moments in awkward silence before Shota finally breaks it. Midoriya, can I ask you what happened? He asks carefully. He has a pretty strong suspicion, but it's better to see if Midoriya is willing to talk about it first. The kid immediately moves to gnaw at his lip before flinching when he bites it. Instead, Midoriya fidgets with the hand that Shota isn't in the process of cleaning and bandaging. It was just an argument, Midoriya says. Nothing serious. It's just I have a hard time working out when I'm injured like this. My friend has access to a healing quirk, so I wanted to get healed so I can train. It's not as serious or anything. Shota bites back a sigh. Problem child. Midoriya flinches. Midoriya, he admins. The kid shifts slightly and stares off to the side, deliberately away from Shota. This isn't just an argument. This is the kind of injuries that would put you out for a few days as a pro hero on the field. At that analogy, Midoriya's breath catches. The kid's fingers drum against his leg as he seems to ponder something. Shota lets it lie and focuses back on the arm. The arm which is very lucky not to need stitches, or Recovery Girl to dig glass out of it. It's not, Midoriya starts but stops. I know it's not okay. I've never really thought that it was okay or anything like that. It's just it's better, you know? Shota does not, in fact, know. He directs raised eyebrows at his problem child, and he awkwardly smiles. I mean, if I had tried to report anything, it wouldn't have gone through. The judge would have passed my case. I don't think any lawyers would have taken it either, and even if they did, somehow I would be moved, and then I would be moved. I would be moved somewhere worse, way worse, probably. Shota purses his lips and ponders for a moment. From what he can gather, Midoriya is in an abusive relationship with one of his parents. He realizes that it's abusive, but he can't leave out of fear that he'll end up somewhere worse or laughed at out of the courtroom. A valid concern, he supposes. His own relationship with the foster system is less than stellar, but a heroic quirk, high intelligence, and overall kind of nature. Midoriya is practically catnip to people who want to foster for the kids and not for the money or fame. But Midoriya is smart, so you must have realized this. Which means, is there a reason you don't think any lawyers would take your case? Or that a judge wouldn't let it pass? He asks carefully, watching for Midoriya's reaction. The kid flinches again and goes to bite his lip. Another wince, then teeth connect to the sore. Several more moments of silence pass, where the kid seems to contemplate something. Most likely what he should and shouldn't share with Shota. Before my entrance exams, my quirk wasn't. The kid pauses again. My quirk wasn't. It had specific activation requirements. The doctor said I needed enough muscle, or my quirk wouldn't activate. It was like a built-in safety measure. Before I exercised my quirk activated, then it would have exploded my limbs. My quirk didn't come in until the day of the entrance exams. Midoriya's quirk didn't come until the day of the entrance exams. Midoriya's quirk didn't come until the day of the freaking entrance exams. No wonder Midoriya's quirk shatters his bones like he's 4 and just got his quirk. He did just get his quirk. No wonder Midoriya flinches when people come near him too quickly, like he's lived a life full of fear. He probably has. Quirkless people don't have good lives. Shota knows this. Knows this better than most because of his profession. He deals with the results of discrimination and abuse cases that get thrown out of the police station, trafficking rings that barely even get looked at. His shoes lined up on the rooftop with a note. Quirkless. Quirkless is not something anyone in this society can be and hope to live beyond the age of 20. Quirkless people don't get accepted into jobs. Quirkless people don't get into high school. Quirkless people are abused and so much that their life expectancy is 16, and Midoriya used to be quirkless. Shota steadies his breathing. Freaking out now will only make Midoriya even more afraid than he already is. And Shota can't have that. He needs to calm down, and he needs to think. It's okay, he says first. I have an emergency foster license. Tonight, you'll stay with me. Tomorrow, we'll figure it out. And Midoriya looks up with wide, shining eyes. Shota knows that this is very likely because Midoriya has not received the kindness he deserves. And it twists his stomach into a knot. But that's okay. You're okay, kid. We will figure this out. Midoriya predictably cries. And that concludes the fic, The Wrong Doorstep, written by GhostWithABow on AO3. This was such a cute DADZAWA fic that I enjoyed to read. Now, I am pretty sure that there is a podfic on this already, but it's whatever to me because I enjoyed reading this, and it was really short and really straightforward, which I only had time for because I am on vacation, so I couldn't do like a 30-minute one because I simply just did not have that time alone to record a 30-minute video. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and my last little note is I want to address some of the comments on my last video about people saying, why were you in the mental hospital? Are you ill? You must be sick. Please don't say that. I would really appreciate if you didn't. That is my personal life, and it obviously was my choice to even say and put that out there, but could we just leave it at that? The comments when I was reading them sounded very harsh to me. So just please don't say that to me. I'm crossing my fingers. Yeah, that's all. And I will hopefully post soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day.